welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So the other day I was on Facebook Live and I created this nice green, orange, and yellow smoky eye, and I decided, I have to recreate this for YouTube. You guys have to see this look too. So if you're interested in seeing how I created this look, go ahead and keep on watching, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bye guys. So I'm gonna start off with my face nice and prepped and moisturized, and I'm gonna take my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer and go ahead and rub that all into my face. I wanna make sure my face is nice and primed to hold all of the makeup all night that I'm putting on, especially before I put my eyeshadow on. And of course, like I always forget to clip my hair back, I'm gonna go ahead and take these claw clips and clip that back real quick so we can get into these eyebrows, honey. So I'm going to take my NYX eyebrow pencil and go ahead and fill in my eyebrows, but I'm going to speed past this part because I'm going to be filming an eyebrow tutorial very soon to show you guys how I fill in my eyebrows. But once your eyebrows are nice and filled in, you can tell they really frame the face. They are fleeky, looking good. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into these eyes and pull you guys a little closer. So I'm going to start off with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and I'm going to go ahead and place this all over my lid. I'm going to place it on my lid and into my crease, but not too far into my crease, just to make sure that all of my shadows can blend and have something to stick to. And I'm going to take my finger and warm up that product and really blend it out so there's no harsh line where it stops at. And then I'm going to go into my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to take a color that's close to my skin tone and kind of put that over the blending area of where that paint pot stops so that my shadows have something to blend on top of. And then I'm going to go into my Morphe 35B palette, and I'm going to take that bright yellow and go ahead and start sweeping that into my upper crease as my transition color. Now, of course, I want to pack this color in as much as I can because I want to build up the intensity, because, you know, with bright shadows, they don't always show up as bright as you want them to on the first swipe, at least not with this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and keep blending that color in and building up that intensity to make it as bright as it possibly can be. And then I'm going to go back into that Jaclyn Hill palette and take that darker yellow and go ahead and blend that on top just to give it a little more color. Okay, so once I'm done blending that yellow out, I'm going to go into the Jaclyn Hill palette and take these two browns and that orange color, but mostly the orange, so that I can transition from yellow to orange. And I'm going to take this a little lower in my crease. Of course, I'm going to start off with a little shadow and build up that intensity just like I did with that yellow so that I can have the most color payoff, but at the same time, I want to make sure that I'm going back and forth between both of the brushes so that I can have the most seamless blend. Once I'm done blending those two colors, I'm going to go back into my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I know it was hard to see, but I'm going to take the darkest colors in that palette, which are two browns and a little bit of a dark purple, to go into my crease even lower than that orange. Of course, I'm going to start off with as small of amount of eyeshadow as I possibly can at first, and then build up that intensity. But of course, we don't want to take this too high in the crease, and we want to go back and forth with those brushes that we used previously, just like I did before, to make sure that you can still see that orange, you can still see that yellow, and there's no harsh lines. So once I'm done blending those colors together, I'm going to go back into that Jaclyn Hill palette and take this dark green and go ahead and start packing that on my lid. I'm using a packing motion because I'm trying to get as much intensity with this green as I possibly can, and I'm going to go ahead and blend this up to meet those browns. Once I do meet up to those browns, I'm going to start with a sweeping motion just to make sure that that line is pretty clear where that stops. And then of course, just like before, I'm going to take my other brushes that I used with the previous colors to blend out any harsh lines, and then go back in and pack some more of that green color just to make sure it's built up to the intensity that I'm looking for. now that those colors are all blended out to the way that I like it, I'm going to go in with foundation. Today I'm using the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter in the shade 350, and I'm going to use the Mercier Candleglow foundation in the shade Pecan. And of course I'm running out of that one, but this is my favorite mixture of foundation. It gives you the right amount of matte but still radiant look that I'm looking for. And I'm gonna take my Real Techniques beauty sponge and go ahead and blend that out and make sure that I'm blending it out with no harsh lines under the neck, on the ears, into the hairline, just to make sure you know you don't see where the foundation starts or ends. So I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color Tan Sand, and I'm going to go ahead and place this underneath the eyes. I'm going to place this on my nose. I'm going to place this on my chin and my forehead, and I'm going to use that same Real Techniques sponge and blend that out just with the other side that I didn't use the foundation on. And then another trick I like to use after I'm done blending my concealer out is taking the other side of the sponge that I used the foundation on and going around the edges of that just to make it a seamless blend so you can't see where the concealer starts and where my foundation ends. Okay, so I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Beautifully Bronzed, and I'm going to go ahead and put this underneath my cheekbones and across my forehead, and I'm going to take it on this dual fiber brush to blend that in, and I'm going to start off in circular motions and then quickly switch to a sweeping motion to go up towards my concealer that I laid down right before this. So after I'm done blending out that cream contour with that dual fiber brush, I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques sponge one more time just to blend that out even further to make sure I have no harsh lines and it's a seamless blend. And then I'll flip that sponge right back over to go back underneath my eyes to get out any creasing that may have formed before I set it with powder. And the powder I like to use is the Coty Airspun powder. And I take it and I dip my sponge into that powder, blow off the excess, and then I go right underneath where I crease the most and place that powder. I don't bake, but I just set the powder in and press it into the skin so it's seamless. And I also put this underneath my contour as well, just to make that really sharp. After I'm done laying that powder in all of my highlighted areas, I'm going to take this fluffy brush and just sweep away the excess. Okay, now to set the cream contour, I'm going to take my black Radiance powder in the shade Golden Almond, and I'm going to go ahead and put this into my contour areas across my cheeks and across my forehead and blend that in as best as I can to make sure that I have a seamless blend. So once I have that all blended out, I'm going to take that dual fiber brush with no additional product and go ahead and contour my nose. It's not for me to give my nose a new shape, but it's just to give it back definition to the center of my face. And then once I'm done with the cream, I'll go back in with that Golden Almond powder by Black Radiance and go ahead and further contour my nose. Once I'm done blending in that contour on my nose, we're moving on to everyone's favorite part of makeup is highlighter. I'm using the Fenty Beauty highlighter in the shade Hustler Baby. Of course, you see that shine. It just looks so good, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in on my cheekbones, right above my eyebrows, the arch of my eyebrows, and along with on the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose. Once that's all blended in, I'm going to go back in on the other side of that highlighter and take the Mean Money side and put that underneath my eyebrows just to give it a little bit of highlight. Once I'm done blending that out, I'm going to go back into that Jaclyn Hill palette and take that dark green that we used on the lid on a flat definer and put that right on my lower lash line just to bring that color down underneath my eye. And I'm only going to take this 2/3 of the way in, and then I'm going to go back with that brush that I used that orange one earlier on the upper lid, and I'm going to blend that out. And I'm going to blend this out pretty far down, not too far down, but pretty far down. And then I'm going to go back into that Jaclyn Hill palette and take that shimmery green shadow and put that in the inner third of my eye, just to give it a little more life, give it a little more color, and a little brighter. And then I'm going to go back in with that orange on that brush and blend that out even further. Once that's all blended, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Illuminating Mist and Set Spray and go ahead and spray my face down just to take away that powdery look and to mesh everything into my skin. And once I have sprayed it, a trick that I like to do is go ahead and take my beauty sponge and go ahead and take any of the white spots that it may leave behind, because for some reason this nozzle doesn't spray out like really evenly. And then just to intensify my highlighter, I'm going to go back in the highlighter while my skin is still kind of damp and blend a little bit more on top. Once I'm done blending that in, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes. These are Velour lashes in Fluff and Dolled Up. And then I'm going to take some mascara, the L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mascara, just to put this on my top and lower lashes. I feel like it's really important to use that to blend your lashes with the false lashes, as well as bring out your lower lash line. It's really important. And then I'm going to take my NYX Lip Liner in brown and go ahead and line my lips. I'm actually going to try to ombre this just to make sure that when I put this really light color by Colorpop, it's the color Trap, in the center, that it has a nice ombre effect. I like to go in with my finger to further intensify that blend to make sure it's very seamless, and I'll go back in with that lip liner and line around my lips to further intensify that ombre so you can still see that darker line, especially since this is a bright color. And once that's all blended in, you have your finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.